Hey, what's up guys, Tanley here, and today I'm going to be giving you guys some more Tower of Fantasy information. As always, if you appreciate what I'm going to be doing for you guys today, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, because it'll let more people see this video, because the algorithm will push it out to way more people. So, today we're going to be talking about the Gacha system in the game, and how microtransactions actually interact with the game in and of itself. A lot of people have been worrying about whether or not the game will be pay to win, or whether or not really whales will be the ones to be at the top of the food chain in this game, but I'm going to explain to you why that may not be the case and why the game may be fine. But first of all, what is a gacha system? Typically, gacha systems have been used in the East, but they still linger around in the West through the forms of loot boxes or other microtransactions. In short, gachas are really just randomized loot boxes with different varying items of different rarities in them. You pay real money for in-game currency, or you just use the in-game currency you've acquired through missions or things of that sort, and then you buy a crate, open it, and reap the rewards. It's a pretty simple process. Tower of Fantasy will be no stranger to this. Of course, it's a free-to-play game and it needs to make money somehow, so it will be engaging aspects of gachas in the game. But one thing that a lot of Western fans are wondering is, how does this incorporate into the game in and of itself? Will it have a toxic relationship with the game where people who spend the most money will come out on top? Or will it be somewhat even across the board with players who pay money to be slightly ahead of the curve? Well, today I'm going to be explaining what we know so far and trying to piece some things together so that way you can make a more informed decision when you play. First of all, as is tradition, there are rarities to these loot boxes. There is common, rare, super rare, and super super rare, each noted by their following acronym: C, R, SR, and SSR. Each item, depending on rarity, will be harder to find. I don't know if the game has a pity roll system where if you roll 10 times, you will be guaranteed a certain rarity. I don't know if that's in the game yet. I would assume it would be, as that's typically a feature that is added to games like these, but only time will tell. Typically, the rarity will add some sort of additional bonus to the weapon, so it'll be additional attack, additional defense, additional agility, an extra ability onto the weapons themselves, a passive effect on the weapons themselves, something added onto the weapon itself to give it more punch because it's rarer. Since each weapon has its own special abilities and traits, it'll probably be changed depending on the rarity, with the higher rarities having higher skills and abilities than the lower rarities. For example, this polearm has a passive called Serious Injury. When attacking, there's a chance that the enemy will enter a 5-second heavy injury state, and this injury will cause double damage based off of a percent. And if you advance the weapon to 1 star, which I'll be making a video about weapons shortly, when in the air, the attack damage of each attack is increased, but you self-inflict 4% for ultimate damage. As per typical gacha game fashion, you can either buy 1 crate or 10 crates, so if you want to whale out and buy them all at once, you can buy 10, or if you want to save some of your currency, you can just buy them one at a time. Speaking of currency, there are 2 different types of currency, similar to Genshin Impact, that you can buy these crates with. There is this purple orb-like looking currency, and there's also a gold version of this currency. I don't know what they're supposed to represent, but they exist in the game, so just to let you know, there are 2 different types of currency that will be used for different banners. Speaking of banners, I bet you're wondering what's on them. Well, it's time to explain what you can actually get through the banners. So you can get a number of items, whether it be material, gold, weapons, but an interesting thing that you can get are also characters. Now, I know it may seem a little weird since we get to create our characters and run around in a character that we made, but hear me out. In the same way that you can customize your character, there is also a separate section called Mimicry. This is just a direct translation of it, where in this section, you can transform into the characters that you've unlocked. So if there's a very cool character that you just think is very cool or just looks super awesome, you can turn into them and interact in the world as you normally do with the weapons that you normally have. I find it to be super cool and another way of customization in-game. So among all the other options of customization in this game, you can literally transform into your favorite character. That is sick. Of course, besides that, as I've stated earlier, you can also get materials so you can upgrade your weapons, or help progress through the story a little bit faster as you'll have upgraded weapons. You can spend real-world money on bundles of what looks like gems. I'm going to call them gems. In Tower of Fantasy, they come in 6 different bundles, starting at 60 gems, to 300 gems, to 980 gems, to 1,980 gems, to 3,280 gems, and finally to 6,480 gems. As you can see here, the storefront is offering a discounted rate for these golden currencies that would be used to buy the gacha crates. You can also see here that the game has 2 different kinds of gems. I don't know what the other ones are priced at, probably similar, or these might just be the free-to-play ones, I don't know. In another storefront, you can purchase more materials with gold, or with those other gems we saw. Again, another way to give yourself more materials to help advance your weapons and get yourself further in the game. Here in this shot, you can see that they offer bundles, actually. In the first bundle for 61, you get 10 of the purple currency, 10 of the gold currency, 5 crates, and a bow. In the second bundle for 31, you can get 10 of the purple currency, 10 of the gold currency, 10 of an undisclosed amount of gold, and 10 crates, as well as a sword. For 68 yuan, you get an item, looks like a pass, I don't know what it is, it might be the battle pass. And then for 30 yuan, you get gems, 100 of those darker gems, and 300 of those lighter gems, and then a pass of some sort, I don't know what that is. There is also an advertisement featuring Nemesis at the top. If you don't know who she is, watch the video that I'm linking above here, of which you can pay 6 yuan and get Nemesis, the gold currency, the purple currency, 5 crates, and an SR bow. So that does seem like quite a good deal for me. So, to conclude, what is the spell out for Tower of Fantasy, and is it actually pay to win? From what it looks like, not really. You can pay a little bit to get yourself a tiny bit ahead of the curve, but it's not so much the fact that it's game-breaking. I don't think any of these additions are inherently game-breaking. A lot of these weapons can get outscaled through just normal leveling, and I don't necessarily think that the characters in and of themselves are actually broken. So I do think that the game is still a relatively fair and even playing field, with players who do pay getting a slight advantage, but not necessarily one that inhibits the experience for people who are playing free-to-play, which is great. Especially if it comes over to the West, I think it'll also be turned down a bit more. I don't even think a lot of the stuff that is in there will stay. Some stuff gets cut, it might come completely full on with everything the same, but in a lot of cases with MMOs coming from the East to the West, they have to tone down on the microtransactions because in a lot of ways, their microtransaction policies over there are a lot heavier and a lot more predatory. And as they come over to the West, they kind of simmer down a little bit because of either regulations or how gambling and microtransactions are perceived here in the West. So, generally speaking, we should be fine. I don't think there's anything to go too crazy about unless some of these items secretly have an amazing, incredible game-ending bonus. I think for the most part, we are in good hands, the devs know what they're doing, and this is looking like an incredible game. But let me know what you think in the comment section down below. What are you excited to get out of these crates? Let me know. As always, I'll be back here again tomorrow letting you guys know more about Tower of Fantasy. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.